theme song we'll get going after.
5 elements and 5 elements.
There we go.
Everybody riot, organized chaos, nobody quiet. We gon' try a seance. Communication and communion with the world's greatest icon. Station as a human, yet he's listening to my song. Hype join, this that no nigga with the bass and the bang, make it do. Yo, hit you with the 5 elements, like 5 elephants. Let him know I'm relevant, I'm heaven sent, telling him we're from a whole nother galaxy. I'm actually born from the static sea. Ass to be crazy, I'm trying to be amazing. Next big thing kinda has a nice ring. Bada boom, bada bing. You love it when I go off when you sold out.
Fuck yeah, we're in war. We're in fucking Twitter war, brah.
John's in Islamabad right now.
Whatever he's in, dude, he's feeling himself. Holy shit. I thought you were hungover, bro.
I fucking am. Still hungover, bro.
John,
Still hungover?
What?
My kids are here. No cursing.
Hey, guys.
That's a damn shame. Anyways, welcome everybody here to the round table on HamiltonRadio.net channel HR2. I am your host, John Brecco, and we've got a special show for you guys today. First, I want to introduce some of the comics who came on this show with me. We got the founder of DBJ Comedy, Dwayne Burris is here. How you doing, brother?
You're just here in pizza and stuff.
Yeah? You didn't finish that shit yet?
No, well, I did. There's multiple slices, so, you know how New York does.
Oh, he's going to be folding that shit up.
Oh,
Mike's Favor is here. How you doing, my man? What's up, brother?
I'm doing well. Doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. Every day above ground is a good day. We got Colette Panetta here. What's up?
I'm alarmed by 2 things. The fact that you just said something like an 84-year-old and the fact that Dwayne referred to a pizza pie as multiple slices. Isn't it just there's more pizza? Multiple?
Yes, you are exactly right. You are correct.
I'm just disturbed generally, but thank you.
No,
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm the fat one and I didn't even point that shit out. We got the chief of staff of Stand Up NY, John Borromeo here. What's up, brother? How you feeling?
I am super hungover from Sunday still.
Yeah. No, Danny was telling me about the 3 weddings and how 2 of them were fake, and you just tried to pass it off, for a legit wedding.
First of all, no. That was off record. Second of all, they were real weddings. All right. For all your 3 listeners out there, those were all 3 real weddings that we did. Everything was in accordance with the law.
One for each listener, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I love it, man. We also got the founder of Wild Chat Sports here coming in on the show. We got Kevin Larney here. How you doing, brother? You never turned your camera on. I'm trying to figure out why that shit's happening.
All right, we good?
Yeah, we've been good, brother.
All right, sweet. I'm happy to be on, man. I'm happy to be here, so it's all fun.
I'm happy to have you on with us. You might. All right, there we go.
Yeah, he
I
looks
was wondering what took him so long.
I was like, I'm in the chat. This is the first time I used it, but
I got you.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to have you guys on. We got a good show coming up for you guys today. We've got the owner of Stand Up New York, who I'm very, very excited to have on the show. We got Donnie Zolando in the house. How you doing, brother? You feeling good?
Talking to me?
I'm talking to you. That's your name, isn't it?
Thanks for having me.
I know you have to sleep, but I don't see anybody else here named Donnie.
Take a nap, quick nap, power nap.
Although I may say Danny a few times because you spelled it kind of weird on me, so
yeah,
I apologize.
Professional, aren't you, John? Such a consummate professional. God,
I try. I'll brush your shoulders off real quick. But I do want to say it is very, very good to have you here. And I guess the first thing that I want to ask you is, how did you end up owning Stand Up NY? So tell me how that kind of came around.
That's no one's asked me that actually. Good job.
I know you're half asleep. If you have trouble getting through this, I got you.
John, why don't you answer that for me? Let's see. Let's see.
Let's see if I can do this right. Donnie used to sell drugs on the side, on an online drug sale.
That
And then,
was before Stand Up New York.
yeah, exactly. I'm just building to that. And then he essentially, what he was able to do was he had this really this telephone company, and then he
I
decided to
wasn't
buy
kidding
Stand Up New York.
about helping you with your internet.
What? Yeah.
You
So,
missed
but
it,
that's how you
but-
bought Stand Up New York. You had the money. You made your millions or whatever, thousands of dollars, because it's just a comedy club on the West Side.
Hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds of dollars, and then you picked up Stand Up New York. I mean, the great thing is I've read John's actual his pre-interview. He's done some great homework on you, to be honest.
All right.
Oh, yeah?
So the real story is two of my good friends growing up were amateur comics, and they used to perform at Stand Up New York. And I used to go see them perform when we were in high school and college. We were like 16, 17 years old when we started going there. Yes, I went there throughout high school and college, and then I was living around the corner from the club when I was 27, and I heard it was for sale. So I called Gabe, my business partner, who was a comic, and I'm like, dude, Stand Up New York is for sale. We used to go there when we were 16. Let's buy it. We just jumped in. This was 12 years ago.
All right. So I guess the thing I want to ask after that is, from the story, and what I've read, it actually seems like you were a big fan of comedy, just growing up in general. So I feel like Stand Up New York, I could be wrong when I say this. I feel like that's not the only club you went to, when you were like 16, 17 years old. I'm sure there were others. So what are some of the other clubs you went to, and what made you decide to choose Stand Up New York?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up right outside of the Cellar, right outside the Village, 18th between 5th and Broadway. So I used to go to the Cellar a lot. So that was really like my go-to club, when I was in high school and college. I used to go there like almost every other weekend. And I love the experience. And I think Stand Up New York was the only place that would put up Gabe. So that's when I went there.
Still is.
I get you.
Still is, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get you. That makes a lot of sense. But
But I mean, I think the Cellar that was probably my favorite club growing up. I don't think there was really any other club that compared to that experience.
no, the crazy thing is I've actually never been inside the Cellar. That's one of the few comedy clubs that I still want to experience after the pandemic. Yo, Dwayne, do you know anybody that's like been to the Cellar, or Mike or Colette or anybody else?
Yeah, plenty of people. Yeah.
Okay. What's the vibe like in there? So you could explain it to me, because that's one of the clubs I haven't been into yet.
Well, I don't know about like if there's like residency there at the Cellar. I just know that like if you are in the Cellar, I've been told that you can't perform on that block on what is it, McDougal?
Yeah.
You're not able to perform in any other comedy club on that block. That's the only thing that I know for sure.
That's
In terms of
crazy.
residency for the Cellar, but yeah.
Hey, John,
All right.
is that John? You heard that also?
It is to an extent. It's not like SD. Just a little background. SD is the booker over at the Comedy Cellar. All three rooms, mind you.
Is Colette sleeping or she froze?
No, Colette's there.
She's still there. She's listening.
So SD, who's the booker for all three rooms, which you have obviously the Comedy Cellar, which is the standard. You've got the Village Underground, and the third piece of that pie is the Fat Black Pussycat Club, which a couple of years ago used to be just like a Moroccan kind of style bar, but Gnome owns it. Gnome owns that whole complex over there.
Okay.
You necessarily can work other rooms, but you cannot be advertised on those rooms. That's the big difference. The only where you're allowed top billing is supposed to be in the Cellar at all times. So, I mean, it happens. You'll see comics that'll run over to the Lantern. I mean, Judah Friedlander is known to drop in over at the Lantern once in a while. I know that there's some comics that go to the Grizzly Pear. You have that availability, but you absolutely are right. There is an unspoken that you shouldn't be performing on that block if you're performing at the Cellar that night.
I heard that also. I mean, I'm interested to hear from all of you what your thoughts are about that.
Well, I
Okay.
know Dustin Chafin, and I know when he sort of took over Greenwich Village, that was it. It was sort of like, that's the bed. He didn't even really tell me that formally, but it was kind of like, all right, that's where you are now, and the cellar's over here. And just one moment, John, we have to give an RIP to the Lantern. I was told that it closed, that it's a wrap on the Lantern.
Is it official? Because I was told that they're just under renos right now, and they have the potential of reopening when the pandemic is over.
Oh, that would be great. I was told by a couple of, you know what I mean, like comics that it was closed, but that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think
There's been some fucking stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's really it. I mean, aside from me, I have a residency, but you know what I mean? I don't know any other comics. Kind of elitist. So.
I was about to say, you tried to put your head down really quick, like I have a residency. Mike,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that? Donnie was asking.
I think if you have just working there, the prestige of the name of working there is good enough, I guess. But if you want to get around, then that's not so good. But I think just going off of the Cellar having the reputation that it is good for any comic to say that they work there like all the time, I would guess.
Yeah. Here's something I didn't know. I didn't know the guy who owns the Comedy Cellar owns the Fat Black Pussycat too. I thought that was just a separate strip club.
Mm-hmm. And Village Underground. You know what's interesting? They get to hop. And I've had friends say, oh, I'm going to go here tonight versus here, but they're all connected. And that's why they're just sort of like different spaces. But tourists tend to want to go to the Cellar. And that's why that line is wild all the time. But if you go around the corner, it's the same thing. They just sort of stagger their time. So it's 10, 10, 12, 12.
Yeah.
You can go up a lot in one night if you're.
Yeah.
You can. You can absolutely go up. I mean, just in response to that, I mean, as a booker for the club, I don't think it's necessarily right. I think I get it. Yes, we alluded to it later. There is that prestige of the Cellar, but if you're a working comic, you need to go up as many times as you can. And I'll be honest, I will say this on your podcast. There's a couple of Cellar comics that have the same lame ass 15 minutes that I've heard over and over and over again, and nothing's new. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you, they're just not developing. They're not growing. They're getting lost in the trail. There's nothing like seeing somebody that'll be performing at VU, and then all of a sudden, 30 minutes later, they're up on you'll see them up in the Grizzly Pear doing a brand new set. That's awesome. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's sad that the surrounding clubs, and Dustin gets a lot, is that now they're drop-ins. Well, you know what? You're not as your lineup and your ticket sales aren't as powerful when you can't put these people on the bill. So it really hurts the surrounding clubs as well.
Right. To your point, John, there's nothing I love more than when people are doing shorter sets than when I see the book or their notes, because then I know that they're going to do something new.
Sure. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's like, you want to see how it lands and stuff. That's always interesting to me.
It's one of the best things, it's one of the best feelings to see a comic sitting at our bar writing jokes.
Kevin, calm down, first of all.
I'm the one that's hungover, first of all. You're the one that had a bowl of graham crackers and decided you want to be all sleepy for this interview.
Yeah, he's all of a sudden like ready to snort. Bro, he was eating them off his sweater before you came in here. Like he was all leaning back, like half of his plate was on his stomach, and he was just like picking it off there like a little bit at a time. Like he was letting you know it was like on there.
Just to let you do, he did the same thing on Kennedy on Fox News the other day.
I was like shoveling it in my mouth.
Yo, I'm honestly surprised he didn't take like this part of the hoodie, like the part you tighten the whip, and just try to slingshot it from there. like just toss it high up and just watch it go down.
My wife.
No, but honestly though, here's the thing with the Fat Black Pussycat, and here's why I said what I said about it, because it really does sound like that to me. Like, I'm gonna ask Kevin this really quick because he hasn't had a chance to get in here yet. Kevin, I have a question for you.
What's up?
What would you do? Because this guy's from Boston, right? So what would you do if I told you like I was, performing Friday night at the Fat Black Pussycat? What would your first reaction be?
I don't know, man. I'm assuming it's something totally different than what it sounds like.
He thought I'd be on the pole, is basically what he's trying to say.
I mean, John, if you told me that, I'd be like, yeah, right, you're fucking lying.
Bro, I'd be breaking the pole off. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I'd be like, why would ST be booking you?
Oh man. Donnie, you feeling better now?
Yeah, I was getting a little warm in here.
Yeah, no, you're probably fucking tired because you were sweating for like 15 minutes.
That was wardrobe change number 1. Oh, come here.
I thought
Dude,
he
I'm
was looking for graham crackers when he took that sweatshirt off.
He was trying to find his leftovers.
I got crumbs all over the floor.
Because all the leftovers you missed, man. You got to clean it thoroughly. Now they're gonna be all wet from the laundry and shit. Yeah, no, that sounds awful. I wouldn't want to be looking for any type of shit in there. But your child was there. I was about to ask you something that had to do with selling drugs.
Yeah, hi. Want to be on the show tonight?
Now I don't feel comfortable asking this question.
Do it. Trust me. She's heard enough things in that comedy show room.
All right,
She's on,
cool. That's fine.
she's on stand up there, actually.
Oh shit! I had no
She
idea.
She did 5 minutes.
It's awesome.
When she was like 7.
No, but here's the thing, because that's pretty much how it went from you, like especially with what John said. You went from the illegal pharmacy online to telecoms to owning a stand-up business. So was this something that you always wanted to do? Because it seems like drastic shifts when you look at it. So was it something you always wanted?
Yeah, I think since I was in elementary school, like I told my parents I wanted to have an illegal pharmacy, and then I wanted to get into telecom, and then I wanted to own a comedy club. If you work, hard enough, you can get what you want.
Yeah. All right. So, because here's the thing. I wanted to bring Kevin on here because he founded his own company, and it's called Wild Chat Sports. He's interviewed a ton of celebrities, and I wanted to bring him on here with us because
Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank.
I mean, he's got a little bit too much hair for that, but I'm sure he appreciates the comparison. No,
wait,
but
I want to answer your question though seriously. So, I mean, the pharmacy thing. I was like 19. How old was I? I was probably like 19 years old. And I was young, and it was something I was doing like during college. Like I always had like an entrepreneurial spirit. And you heard of Roman or Hims?
yeah, I think so.
They're like online healthcare companies. You can order like prescription drugs. A doctor will prescribe you prescription drugs. You can order online. You get it delivered to your house. It's like a very big business now, and it's totally legit. And these companies have like venture capital funding and all of that. I just did it 20 something years ago when it was not legal. It's the same exact business though.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's the same exact concept where you could order prescription drugs online and get it prescribed by a doctor, and you get it delivered at home. And then telecom I got into when I was like 24. It was when, do you know what voice over IP is?
Not really.
It's routing phone calls over the internet.
Okay.
Very similar to what we're doing right now, to be honest.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's like WhatsApp or Skype or Vonage.
Gotcha.
Like that.
Okay.
So when that technology became big, like 15 years ago, that's when I got into it, and I was selling like long distance services to phone companies. So like a Verizon would send their overseas like long distance minutes Everyone's like yawning. I can talk about this. I love talking about this. If you want, I can explain the whole technology around it.
No. No.
He's trying to get us as sleepy as him.
It's yeah. I could hours. I can talk about it. Everyone will be asleep. But anyways, telecom. I ran that business for 12 years, and then like while I was running my telecom business, I saw that Stand Up New York was for sale. Like I was 27,
Okay.
I was living around the corner, and I used to go there in high school. So that was just a random thing that popped up where I'm like, why not? So, but when I was like in high school or college, like I had no plan. I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Okay. I mean, it
Now
just seems like
I'm starting to like realize what I want to do now. I just turned 40.
I mean, it just seems like to me that, you wanted to, try to find, a business that, you actually wanted to stick with. And while you were in the process of that, you just enjoyed finding like something new to do because they're like totally different things. Is that true at all? Or
Yeah, I mean telecom I enjoyed like the first like year or two that I was in it. So when I was like 24 and 25, but then I was in it for like 10. Is he like laughing at me? What's his name?
which one?
Are you talking about me?
Pizza Man.
Is this me?
Pizza Man.
Oh no. Sorry, I was dealing with something. I'm listening, but I'm dealing with
I'm just kidding. So, I mean, telecom the first 2 years like I enjoyed, and then like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, I heard something upstairs. I thought like a kid like fell off the bed or something.
All right, no problem. Yeah, no, I'm listening.
Yeah, telecom, it got very boring to me. And then I think I was just looking for something more, stimulating. And Comedy Club really fixed that issue. Like, there's nothing boring about this business.
Yeah, because it's always something different. You always get to, see somebody new at like an open mic or a show. So, I mean, you never, seeing the same person. And, that's kind of refreshing, I think, for all of us here, too. We always get to perform with different people. We always get to meet new people through different shows, especially honestly during the pandemic. And I've said it before on the show, that's kind of been the beauty of it. You connect with all these different people, through all the shows or maybe even other things that, you're doing. I connected with Kevin because of this pandemic. Same thing with Colette. I met Mike and Dwayne a little bit before, but I've been able to stay in touch with them because, we've moved our shows online. And to me, anybody, can follow up with this, if you want to, but I just feel like that's kind of been like the beauty, like underneath it.
Yeah, I mean it's a great business. I mean, again, like you said, every day is something different. You meet a lot of interesting people. There's so much talent, obviously, out there, which is awesome, and just to make people laugh is
Yeah, no, for sure.
cool.
Mike, were you gonna say something, bro?
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, like to make people laugh is definitely like one of the best thing about it. Like for me, and being in front of a live audience is way better than stupid Zoom shows, John.
Bro, you ain't lying though. Like, there's nothing like it, being able to entertain a crowd, and then being right there, you're able to interact with them after the show. That's the part I miss about it the most. I just miss being, after the show, being able to talk to different people. Oh shit, that's such a cute cat.
Aw.
I completely missed it for like the first 5 seconds because of what I was talking about, but
This is
then I saw
Lola.
the cat and I got completely distracted.
This is Lola.
Hi,
Say hi.
bro. Lola is enjoying life right now. I love it. I'm a cat person too, but they're somewhere else right now. I have no idea where they are. Oh shit. I was somewhere, but I forget where I was at. Why do I feel like Colette, you're looking for your cat too?
I look for
I'm-
one and then my other one. They're both sleeping. You're so fucking boring.
I know.
They're sleeping.
I think you were
Yeah.
talking about performing live, John.
Yeah, honestly, I just miss being, after the show, being able to just talk to people after, being able to just enjoy the environment, just being around everybody. It's, I mean, it's not the same, but, we do what we can here right now. So, I mean, I want to ask you this while, I'm remembering it because of the damn cat. But how's Stand Up New York been doing, with everything going on? I definitely want to ask about that when I get a chance. So, how's it been doing?
How's it been doing? I mean, it's been interesting. Um, I think our focus is just trying to create as much normalcy as possible during this crazy time and keep shows going, no matter what's being thrown at us. Like as
Yeah,
you know, venues are not allowed to open, comedy
mm,
shows are prohibited, but we're not interested in following these crazy rules.
yeah,
And we're just trying to keep shows going as much as possible and getting New Yorkers laughing and getting comic spots and paying them. I mean, we've done crazy stuff. We're doing shows every Saturday night on the subway. We've done shows in churches. We've done shows in parks, rooftops, courtyards, back of pickup trucks. um, so we're doing what we got to do. Like, hopefully, I think we're gonna drop a lawsuit on Cuomo in the next week or two.
that
Um,
sounds about right.
and yeah, sue him so we can reopen.
Yeah, I mean, you know, honestly, I can't wait to get back on the stage for stand up. So, I'm hoping that goes well for you. But, uh, yo, I actually have a question for you because I read about you going to stand up New York as a young kid, and just being a fan of comedy in general. Have you ever thought about doing it yourself, or have you done it? Or because that's something that I would like to know for sure.
Um, I've never done stand up, and
Okay.
no, I don't have any interest in doing stand up.
Why is that?
Why is that? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just something it just doesn't interest me. I don't know.
you just like being like on the other side of it, like the business side of it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not a performer.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have the itch to like write material
Okay.
and come up with jokes and perform. Like I'd rather jot down like business ideas, and execute
Gotcha.
it. That just excites me more for some reason.
All right. I'm gonna, backtrack a little bit because, Dwayne's been doing this for a few years. Mike's been doing this for a little over a year. I don't know exactly how long Colette's been doing it, but I do want to ask them really quick. What made you guys want to just get involved with stand-up comedy? What made you want to keep doing it? Anyone can answer. So,
I mean, it started when I was drunk, but then it just happened. But I wanted to continue because I was an actor before this. Before I started
yeah,
comedy, I was an actor. I was in the performing arts. Um, Being in front of a camera, doing Zoom shows, that's nothing for me. I'm used to doing that with like self-tape auditions or whatever the case. Um, what made me continue, I think of how to figure out how to say this, but what made me start producing shows was the fact that like, hold on, give me a second.
you're good, bro. No
What made me
problem.
start producing shows was the fact that I was tired of bringer shows. I didn't like the
Yeah,
concept of bringer shows. I thought that the producers were scamming the comedians.
yeah,
Um, I honestly wanted to find an alternative, so that's what made me continue because some people were losing the incentive to want to perform, including myself, and I didn't want to lose that because it wasn't for me. It was, it's. I mean, it's nice to. The art was first. The art came first for me.
yeah.
That's why I continued. And then I don't know. I think yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Yo, I actually want to ask you this because I've never had the I've never thought of it, but I remember like the first time, with the whole Siegel story that you told on stage when you were drunk when you told it. But I wanted to ask you, like, did you just want to see what it was like when you were sober when you went up the second time? Like, was that like a thought that made you want to go back up?
Well, that's it. Yeah. So it's funny you brought that up because the first time I did stand up, I killed. I did well. And I completely forgot the half of my set. But the second time I went, I actually no, I wasn't sober, but I bombed completely. And
Hmm.
I knew, and that my parents were there to see that, and they were disappointed, of course. But that how that happens. But like because of that, it was like if I'm gonna continue doing this, I'm gonna continue doing it. I'm gonna go at it 100%. And I
Yeah.
wasn't prepared the second time, so I bombed. I was like, if I'm gonna continue, then it's gonna be something I can prepare for. Not saying I haven't bombed since,
Yeah.
but still it worked out. That's what made me also. So yeah, funny you brought that up.
Yeah, no, that happened to me the second time too, when I was just completely unprepared and I just forgot everything that I thought. I just went after the stage. I just went off the stage after like a minute, and I was just like, that awkward moment when you forget everything you're about to say, like when you're talking to somebody. And I just walked off stage. So I had a similar thing with that. All right, Colette.
Yeah.
What made you want to keep doing stand up after you got started?
I just hit my 2-year mark on Valentine's Day, but I feel like it's one because thank you, because I've been in my house doing this. But I'm pretty dark. I don't know. I know you guys haven't seen that. I'm very like light and fun, right, Dwayne? Right, John?
Yes.
But I like making stuff that's really, really, really dark and upsetting, funny, sort of in my life. Like asking very inappropriate questions at family members' wakes and things like that. So I wanted to see if I could do it on stage in front of people. And then it's as interesting to me to sort of bomb as it is to do really well, because I want to see, what my delivery is if I change it. If I deliver a really, really bad dead baby joke with a smile, how does it do versus flat?
Yeah. I feel like that could go one of two ways. You either just get something flat, or as soon as you mention the dead baby, everybody starts cracking up. It's one of those two. You never get in between with that. Mike.
Yeah.
What about you, bro?
Well, I started it because I saw a contest at another comedy club, and I figured I would sign up for it to see how it would go. And I gave myself like 3 months to prepare to write jokes.
Yeah.
And I went to like open mics, especially stand up New York. I went to like the open mic every day at stand up New York for a few months. Like John saw me there all the time. And I don't know, like after my first show, like especially after my first couple open mics, I made people laugh a lot. And it was just kind of like, oh, this is it. Like the feeling of making people laugh made me want to keep going at it. And even when I bombed, it was like, all right, like I guess like for me, after I bombed, it was like the challenge of how do I get people back on my side again? Because like this show sucked. How do I change it the next show to get people to laugh at what I'm saying? So I guess for me, it's just the feeling of making people laugh and the challenge of how do I make them laugh at different things every time.
That is always a good feeling, though. He brought it up when you starting to lose a crowd and then you win them back.
Yeah.
That is always a fun feeling, though. That's stressful as hell, though.
Mike, when you did the mics at Stand Up New York, did you set your alarm for like 12:01? Because that's what I would do so that I could get in and get one of like the 10 or 12 spots. I had an alarm on my phone.
No, I just always knew to get there early, and I knew
the walk-on spots. We have the walk-on spots. He remembers.
He has a wheelchair though. Like he can get, he can use that to get on any day.
Yeah,
that's what he did all the time. I remember.
And I was always like,
this motherfucker would wheel in there and just be like, come Come on.
Yeah. Like, I just show up like I'm here. Like, can I perform? And they'd be like, all right, cool. And I would do my set, and then leave, and then. But it was cool, like especially in the beginning because you got to get to meet a lot of different comedians that way, like doing open mics when you're a new comedian. So it was real fun for me doing those open mics. I didn't know like the next year we would be going through a pandemic, but I had fun doing those like in the beginning.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I met Mike was at Broadway Comedy Club, and I remember when they introduced him for his set, because this is one of the few places that they got the runway at, so he can get up without anybody having to lift him on stage. So you just see him like slowly run into the show, probably take a whole minute of his 5, and then he starts telling all these wheelchair jokes. I'm like, this is fucking beautiful. But like, I just, I enjoyed watching him. It's like Colleen said, just being able to make something out of tragedy. It's refreshing to hear that.
You call her Colleen?
Yeah.
You totally
I did that by accident. Excuse me. I'm surprised I haven't called you Danny yet.
I'm here. I'm listening.
I'm the only woman in here, but that's cool. That's cool. Don't remember my name.
Colleen.
You don't know what I identify as, Colette, all right?
That's true. That's true.
Kevin, are you a comic down below me? Kevin's like right underneath me.
What's up?
Kevin, are you a comic?
No, I'm not. I'm a podcaster. So but I interview people within the entertainment industry. So
Dope.
yeah, it's been fun. So it's kind of cool hearing you guys' story, and yeah, it's so weird about the pandemic. But hey, I'd be down to see you guys' shows for sure if I'm ever up in New York. So hopefully we get back soon. But yeah, no, it's all
sure.
fun.
John will be at definitely one of those open mics, slinging it, and I know Mike will as well. I actually just took some notes on you guys because that's what I do. I'm a professional. That's what I do. So, Dwayne.
John looks like a professional.
Yeah, I'm also wearing this.
Blue hair.
Dwayne, I love the idea that you were doing bringers before this, and then you went to producing because, to be honest with you, Dwayne, that's this thing that you're supposed to do. Bringers are only going to get you so far for bringing 6 to 15 people at a time.
Yeah.
You got to make your own stage. The great thing, and I think what happens a lot in our industry, though, and John, you could probably attest to this, is that stage time becomes a in our world. So especially if you're a comic that's producing, if you're able to throw on somebody for 5 minutes, if they've got a set that you can go one of their shows, you go in 5 minutes, and that just allows you to kind of build up momentum. I know there's a lot of very polarizing thing to do, to kind of give spots for spots, tit for tat kind of thing. But it's honestly how this world is going to run. Acting versus stand-up. I hear a lot of actors getting into our world and say they just want to do it. So, I mean, what do you like more, acting or stand-up?
And of course, in the beginning it was acting, but I think what ended up happening, stand-up, just being involved with comedy in general. I mean, because I went to school for acting. It's not like I'm just going to try acting. No, like I studied, graduated, everything. And
how was your job at Applebee's?
No, I think
still working there.
The more you do stand up, the more you understand, of course, like the comedic aspect of it. It just makes you a better actor. So I can't say that,
sure.
Someone like more.
Listen, it's amazing how like act outs. I mean, like everybody kind of like there's a disdain sometimes in our industry for people that are actors that became stand-ups. Like, they're just doing it because it gets them out there. Perfect example is one of the people that we utilize all the time is Jeremy Piven. All right. Jeremy is a world-class actor, but he does stand-up. And is it the strongest in the world? In my opinion, no, it's not. But you know what? He's allowing me to open up on a Thursday night, sell out 120 tickets, so I can still have that show for you guys on Monday and throw 8 to 9, random amateur comics on the stage with 4 to 5 other great comics. So that's what everybody forgets about is, yes, this is an art form, but it's still a business. And it's great that you kind of told yourself, all right, I'm going to start producing shows because it's awesome. By the way, everybody says that they always do well their first time, man. Always, always, always. I'd love to see the tape and be the person that tells Colette, dark, to being to dark to that brightness, I'm not gonna lie, that's the way to my heart. I love dark humor. I am a huge fan of it. Donnie actually likes a comic by the name of Gino Bisconti. I'm just gonna let you know.
You like Gino?
Yeah, Gino. Yeah.
Gino's
I mean, everybody knows
one of my favorite comics.
laughter equals tragedy plus time. So what I really like is you experiment on a consistent basis. That's the kind of stuff that comedians should be talking about. Is that it's not just set punch. It's like, all right, here's this set punch, tag. Where is this coming out of? Where can I use this again? That experiment and continually, having your variables and it may work in some rooms, it doesn't work in other rooms. Like you were saying before, John, like it's amazing what works at that in like Comedy Cove in Jersey, but it will never work at Stand Up New York. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So many times that I see shit that people are doing in Connecticut, and I'm like, I would love to pass that. I think it's hilarious, but it's never gonna make it past Candy's desk at New York Comedy Club. Do you know what I mean? Mike, you're just in a wheelchair. That's really all I have here. No, but, making people laugh is cool, dude. It's awesome. But I mean, I know you don't groan at this, but the one thing that I think that comedians do, because I'm not a comedian, is you make people think. You know what I mean? Are you guys the philosophers of this day and age? No, absolutely not. But I think there are some moments of opportunity, especially persons of color during this year, that really can open their eyes to other people and be like, oh, well, yeah, that's kind of messed up. The LGBT plus community has been on our stages for years, and it was only till like 2 years ago that suddenly you're getting people like Jay Jordan on Fallon. You're getting people like Joel Kim Booster on Conan. Like, even though, comedy is a good demarcation of where we're going as a society and what we're talking about. And it's great that, you want to hear people laugh, but you also have a greater message to speak as well. I will tell you, off your last set, ease up off the self-deprecation when you get back to a stage. Really try working on just making other people feel bad for you, because you'll make so much more money that way.
Right. Now, also too, like for me, being disabled, I saw a lot of other disabled comedians, and every disabled comedian I saw, it was always like the same jokes. Like the people hate when I get on the bus, people hate when I do this, and people hate when I do that. And I just kind of wanted to write different kind of things about like my everyday life, my background, and stuff like that.
Yeah, watch Josh Blue's stuff, his earlier stuff versus what he was doing now. Josh Blue's a perfect example of that. Look at anybody like anybody that's a shorter that's a midget comedian. Brad has a lot of similar stuff that he's always doing, but if you watch his TV stuff, yeah, it's the stuff that's going to hit to a worldwide audience. But if you see him like solo at the Stand or at the Cellar, like so much better, so much more eye-opening. So keep it up.
Thank you.
And it'd be great if you could walk on stage, standing ovation time, baby.
Yo, we were talking about this before the show. I don't know if John came in by this time or not, but Mike wants me to lift him on the stage. He was talking like Mufasa and Simba. He wants me to get him like on the stage. Like, nah, Safenya. Like this motherfucker.
John, how'd that line go again? I'm sorry. One more time.
What the Mufasa and Simba?
What do you
Sing it.
Sing it again. Sing it.
You want me to sing it for everybody?
Yeah, I want to finish the song.
I mean, it might wake Danny up. Nah, Safenya. Danny, you awake yet?
You got pipes, baby. You got pipes.
I'm still with you.
I ain't shit. That's enough to get Danny to like toss over like one time. And maybe get another crumb off of his hoodie. But
Donnie,
Kevin, I want to ask you a couple things, brother, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's do it.
All right. So, yeah, you interview people in the entertainment industry, like you mentioned. You're, super keen on the business aspect of, with your website and everything else you got going on. What made you want to do that? I know you started out with a sports show at the college you were at, but what made you want to develop it into this?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what you guys were saying before, just trying to make the most out of the situation. I mean, it sounds like you guys, knew what you wanted to do at, a fairly young age, and we're passionate about working with people and making people laugh and entertaining people. And, for me personally, I was having a hard time getting into the sports industry, and, I felt like, what do I have to lose? And, the digital side, like I think you were talking about it a little bit earlier, John, but it's not as personable, but it's just crazy, like the connections you can make on the internet. And I was a huge advocate for that, I guess, like prior to the pandemic. And then when the pandemic hit, I just kind of doubled down, and but I'm definitely ready for things to get back to normal. And it's cool hearing you guys speak is, you guys were able to do this in person and do, entertain people in person and do these live events. And, that's something that I hope I get the opportunity to do in terms of interviews and, actually, because I think, you guys know this too. I mean, it's just 10 times more personable, and, it's kind of cool with seeing other people's reactions to it. So, but yeah, it's definitely been a lot of fun, and, I can't complain at all. So it's been good.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about what you just said? Like 3 years ago, I would have never even imagined doing stand-up. I don't know if I've ever told Kevin or John this. I don't know if I've actually told anybody here this, but I had somebody I was friends with that used to write. She used to write every day. She wanted to write, a book later on in life. She had like this plan for it and everything, and she just stopped. And she was trying to push me to do stand up, and, she'd been telling me to do it for, months and months. And finally I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot if you start writing again. And the next day she sends me everything, she'd written down, like all the stories she was coming up with ideas for. And I'm just like, fuck, now I got to do this shit. So 2 months later, I finally, get booked, with a little bit of help from some people I met from the station, actually. A guy had me do 10 minutes. And to what John said earlier, I'm sure I would look at that now and that set would be hot garbage. But I mean, at the time, I feel like I did well. And, it made me, it was good enough to make me want to come back. And I just enjoyed being able to get up on that stage and, may possibly make somebody's day better. Like, it was just a good feeling,
Yeah, no, for sure. That's dope, bro. It's dope. Yeah, hopefully I come through New York and see all you guys soon. And hopefully this wraps up. But yeah, for sure.
Mike, you were saying something?
Where are you from, Kevin?
So I'm from like 30 minutes north of Boston. So yeah, it's
not too far.
Yeah, not too far. So yeah, we'll see, man, if I come through for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I would love to see you at a show for sure. I want to be able to meet a lot of the different people that, I've been able to, connect with during the pandemic. I'm looking at these motherfuckers and I'm like, now you people want to make me travel and shit when this is over. Like, I was feeling nice and comfortable and shit. Now I gotta go places. Fuck. But
I'll tell you this much: a new comic should not stay in New York City. Like, at least once a week, they should be traveling to another area, because you will get so bogged down running mics or going to shows. Like, you gotta, like, just where something's fresh, go to Philly for the weekend. Boston has a great scene right now. You know what I mean? Like, if you go to like Boylston, what's that? What's the Dropkick Murphys bar over there? Kevin, you can help me on that?
Oh, I don't even know. Is it in Faneuil Hall? Or?
Yeah, it's downstairs. They do an open mic over there. South Boston has a couple great scenes. So yeah, just getting away. So traveling, dude. Not to mention that if you have a car and you're a comic in New York City, like comics will take you on the road to do 5-10 minutes, and they'll pay you too, like $150.
Yeah. That's definitely dope. But Danny, I want to ask you one more thing before we start wrapping up.
Yeah, and then I have a question for you.
All right. What are some of the things that you want to do with Stand Up New York when, this all ends? Do you have any ideas for after the pandemic, or are you just trying to get through right now?
I think once they passed this bill, in the last stimulus that'll support venues called Save Our Stages. Have you heard of it?
I think so.
But it's 15 billion for venues across the U.S. So I'm waiting for that to happen, and then I'm gonna close the club.
All right. I mean, he doesn't sound serious. Just gonna go out with everybody else, huh?
Get the money for Save Our Stages, and then go back into telecom.
Oh yeah, just to stimulate your life back up, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, but sir, you know what? And John might be surprised to hear this, but I never wanted to own another location. I never wanted to like start up another location. I thought Upper West Side, was enough work for us. But I don't know. Lately, I've been itching to open up clubs in some different states. I don't.
It's not surprising.
I have a
It's not
what?
surprising. It's not surprising since you sent me to Los Angeles to do shows for a month.
Yeah, but I mean, those were like pop-ups. But like, people would ask me in the past few years, like, do I want to open up in a different location? I always said like, no, like one club's enough. But I have a few places in mind where I think a club would do really well. And
Maui.
So I don't. Yeah, I can see us like expanding to more locations.
I know you said you have a question to ask me, but
My 12-year-old just yelled, "No one cares." Okay.
But I just want to ask you really quick, what made you want to do that? Just start opening in different, cities or states all of a sudden.
You know what? I think for the first time in 12 years, like this year was the first time I actually enjoyed running the business.
Okay.
Even when we were closed. So when we closed, that's when I started to really enjoy it. Just doing things like outside the box.
Yeah.
Because before the pandemic, I don't know, like the club was running like, it's been running for 35 years. I've owned it for 12 years. And it's just been like shows every night, like similar talent, same thing over and over again. And then when the pandemic hit, that allowed me to breathe a little and think outside the box and try different things and experiment. And I think I realized at that time that that's what I enjoy doing.
Okay.
I think when we reopen, we're going to be doing things differently, and I'd love to, bring those ideas to other locations.
All right, that makes sense. What's your question for me? I'm curious.
I have a question for all of you. We can start with you though. Like, what can clubs or a club like ours do to help someone like you? Like, what do you feel, is lacking, from the clubs regarding like support for up and coming comics?
Well, Mike, you said they have a mic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never actually had a chance to go to the mic because I live in Jersey, so it's a little bit hard for me to
You
get
want
the
us to come
shows.
to you?
I mean, that would be nice, but honestly, I think, the best thing that could happen for me when it comes to, stand up New York is, just finding a way to be able to get on the stage, and that includes the mic. So I mean, how I ended up performing there the couple times I did was when Comedy Mob was doing shows up there. So I mean, it's just a matter of being able to connect with people, find you know different people that do shows in certain areas, and just being able to take advantage of any opportunity given to me to make people laugh and get on stage, talk to other comics. That's really kind of just how the cycle went for me. I talk to certain people, I try to find shows that way, and I get whatever stage time I can. And like Dwayne said, go to producing as well after a while, because bringers again are only going to get you so far. So I mean, that's how it really worked for me. So and I feel like I've been able to connect with a bunch of different people, and it's helped me a lot. So I mean, I feel like I'm okay. So I mean, if anything, I would just like to be able to just be at Stand Up New York more, doing what I love to do in comedy. So, I mean, I feel like I was on my way to that, but, you know, whatever I can do to, make that happen for me and potentially anybody else down the road. I'm sorry if I rambled a little bit, but.
Karen, what about you?
So my name is Christine, by the way, but so for me, I haven't been doing it very long. I'm older than most people, so my frame of reference is, I'm definitely the oldest person on this call. My
Not
frame of reference.
Not older than me.
Yeah.
More older than 40?
Yep.
Whoa. You don't look it.
See but my frame of reference is really different, and I've noticed, and this is a bit limited. I don't have a lot of frame of reference, obviously, at Stand Up New York, but because I'm friendly and I want to meet people, I'll do a lot of mic hosting. Nobody will fork over the mic because they like that their name is still on the mic, but I'm the one who's hosting every week. And what I find is, it would be nice, I guess, if some of the clubs, and this is kind of selfish, right, just sort of gave a little bit of a look to folks that are doing things a little bit older, a little bit darker, just because it's different stuff, right? And I don't want to minimize anybody's point of view, but I'm not going to do like dick jokes, right, or banging somebody. Like, I'm too old now. I couldn't even get on eHarmony if I wanted to. So, you know what I mean? Just somebody who's doing something different. Everyone in my life is dying, so why not talk about it? That would really, honestly, like that would be it, because I'm not pushy, but also hanging out with, it's just not going to happen. Like, people in their mid-20s, they're shocked when they know how old I am, and then there's like a divide, basically. I can't remember working at Applebee's, and I did, and it was over 20 years ago, John. I actually worked at Applebee's.
Happy birthday from Applebee's to you. We wish it was our birthday so we could party too.
Yep.
I feel like I just saw her cringe as she started clapping.
Yeah, it was.
That is the
bad.
fakest smile I've ever
That's
seen her.
selfish.
I've ever seen.
You know what I mean? Like, that's totally selfish of me, but it's tough to get a look when the sort of like the group is so young. And then the same people go up.
After everybody goes around the horn, I can give you guys some pointers on some stuff.
All right, let's do it.
Awesome.
Oh, after we're done going around the horn, he said, "My bad,
Yeah.
Mike. My bad."
Well, for me personally, being a comedian with a disability, I guess I would just want
You're like the Star Jones of comedy. Of you remember Star Jones? Like every SNL skit. I'm a lawyer.
No. But I guess I would just want like a ramp, not a built-in ramp, like just like, like a way for me to be able, and other comedians, I guess, with disabilities, to get on stage. And the second part that I actually want to ask this all night. I know, like, now after the pandemic is over, there are gonna be shows, and most of the comedians are probably gonna be bigger name comedians. But what's the plan for like more up and coming comedians after the pandemic is over?
Yeah. No, I get that for sure.
Good question. I mean, we need to figure that out. I think we've been, I think more than other clubs, like we try to do a lot for up and coming comics. And I think we'll try to continue that. I don't have specifics. I feel like I'm like in a debate.
Yo, Dwayne. His
You're
mic
on
is
mute.
muted. Dwayne,
Unmute
your mic is on mute. You got this, bro.
I can do it.
I can't hear you.
All right,
His
I
mic
hear.
is
I
muted.
got it. I understand what he's saying.
He'd like to be heard. He'd like to be heard. That's what he wants.
Yeah, no, this is fun. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, Dwayne, I totally get it. Applebee's is a motherfucker.
You make some good points. You know, we'll try to implement that. You know, once this is over.
Bro, I was washing dishes in the back at Applebee's at one point. I get sick of that shit too.
No.
Now I can hear you.
You used up your time though.
Yeah, that's, I think something happened with this thing. I don't know what it was. Honestly, can't think of anything. I think it's just on me. I think it's just something that I just have to build. I just have to work on my craft. I can't. Of course, I have my issues with certain things and how business is done, but it's just I might as well either do it myself or try to work around it or find a way to, I don't know. It's all on me. So there isn't anything that anybody can do pretty much for myself. But I'm not, that's pretty much it.
I feel that 100%. I'm honestly, more on your end, I feel like. All right.
Yeah.
John, I see you jotting down notes over there, brother.
I am. I love this. I love talking to you guys. I love talking.
Catching you now.
I love it. I mean, I feel like we've kind of left Kevin in the dust over here.
Nah, man.
Kevin, you can jump in anytime. I know you're enjoying listening, but feel free to jump in whenever.
No, I mean, I'm not too knowledgeable about the industry, but it's cool hearing you guys and the experiences that you guys are going through, and just the difference in the pandemic, and I respect the hustle for sure. So I definitely understand the competitive nature of the entertainment industry, whether it's in comedy or drama, whatever it may be. But just I'm rooting for you guys, and just keep doing what you guys are doing for sure. Appreciate you guys having me on, and it's awesome to listen to you guys for sure.
Every time he's talked tonight, I've wanted to brush my shoulders off. But John.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
You're what?
I'm curious to hear about these notes you jotted down.
I mean, Dwayne said it best. It's on you. A lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of it is on you. This isn't an acting troupe. You don't have a field full of agents. This isn't like the movie industry. The problem about comedy is that right now we've regulated our spaces to just comedy clubs. This pandemic has proven otherwise. That stages are everywhere. It can be in a park. It can be up in a rooftop. It can be in a bar area. So creating your own space, I would say, is number one. I'm hearkening to somebody by the name of Zach Zimmerman. He's a Brooklyn-based comic. He's one of our guys now. Wasn't passed at any clubs. Wrote a lot for The New Yorker. He's a very smart comedian. Put out his own special called Clean Comedy, which was fantastic. Zach is one of our favorite comics currently right now on our roster. But he is continually making his own space. He's making his own decisions. He's producing for himself. And listen, there's always been this divide between city, club comics and like alt comics. There has been a merge of that as of late. There's differences if you read some of the journalists that are, floating around in Twitter right now. But it's all about creating your own space. It still is an art form. This is proof that, Cuomo stole our idea of doing shows like in public places. So it's ridiculous to hear kind of things like that. But as an artist, Dwayne, you said it best. It's on you. And if we can do anything to help, that's what we're trying to do. Because let's be honest, The people that are making movies right now or in Mayo commercials, like Amy Schumer, they used to write jokes on the bench at our club. You know, Kevin Hart used to run to our show at 11:45 and try to do the first spot because he had to get the last train, the last bus back to Philly. You know what I mean? These are people that started there, so we want to make sure that there's opportunities for comics like you. I mean, for God's sakes, we didn't pass John Mulaney. You know what I mean? While he was on SNL. So there are certain opportunities where we think we should always be there for you. Number one, ADA capabilities. We should absolutely have something for you on that one. But everything costs money. You know, obviously.
Hey, I like to say something. When we renovated the place 10 years ago, we lost like 20 seats in order to build a handicapped bathroom in the bar.
Yeah. I mean, small wins. I mean, you have to remember also that this comedy club is built in a space that was built in the early 1900s. So, you know, having restrooms on that first floor was one of the first things that we did to be ADA compliable when Donnie bought the club 13 years ago. So we're still making improvements. And if you felt left in the dust, Mike, our apologies. We will try everything we can to find something temporary to kind of help you do that. So I will look into that today. We talked a little bit about what the plan for up-and-coming comics is.
We gotta close out.
Colette?
Yeah.
So Colette, I mean, don't let your age feel that it's bringing you down because and I know that's tough to say in our industry when people feel that because they're a woman or they're gay that it hinders them, or if they're a person of color. It shouldn't, because there's some great avenues. Perfect example is somebody called Carol Montgomery. Her name is Carol Montgomery. Her first production was that she ever gotten was just last year. She's been a road and touring comic for the last 30 plus years, and she just produced a show on Showtime called Women of a Certain Age.
Oh,
We forget.
Yep.
Yeah. We forget about comics like that. Like Fran Drescher is a comic. Roseanne Barr is a comic. Do you know what I mean? There are so many comics
guys,
that are not in that 20-something age range. But I would say to you, if you want to look for areas that are really that kind of hearken to that, stay away from Bleecker as much as you can.
Okay.
Okay. On that note, guys, we got to close out.
Okay.
All right.
But I would.
John,
What was that?
All right.
we got to close
No,
out.
because I was gonna say Ruben's got to finish up the show, so I want to let you finish. I want to let you finish first.
Sure. Just really quick there, places you can hang out that are very appreciative of comics of older age is Broadway and the comic strip. Not for new talent, but if you want to hang out and meet some cool people, the Friars Club is also a great place to go as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then last but not least, hang in there. That's the best I can say. Pathways to other shows, John. You're part of the Comedy Mob, which is awesome. But there's other avenues. Do late night over at your comedy club. Do anything that you really can. Creek in the Cave is no longer there anymore, but something will populate that's going to be bigger and better than the Creek in the Cave. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I appreciate the tips you guys gave. I appreciate the insight you guys all gave us. Thank you all for coming on. I appreciate it. You know, it means the world to me. This show has been my baby for, 3-4 years now. So I appreciate you guys coming on. If everybody can, just, share the show to wherever you can. It would really mean a lot. So, thank you guys again. Donnie Zoldan, our special guest, Kevin Larney, John Borromeo, Dwayne Burris Jr., Mike Favor, Colette Panetta. We had a stacked show for you guys tonight. I'm John Brecco. This has been The Round Table. We'll be back same time, same channel next week. Make sure you guys don't miss it. Deuces.
Everybody riot, organized chaos, nobody quiet. We're gonna try a seance. Communication and communion with the world's greatest icon. Station as a human, yet he's listening to my song. I've joined this that